Now, this is one I've always, if you know, we talk about young guys saying, I want to be a pro bodybuilder. I guess, given if you had your time over again, would you become a pro? And I guess the second part of that is, I think it was probably better when you were a pro, as far as America was
competition and that.
Yeah, and I think America was doing a bit better financially, and there was a bit more money around, and bodybuilding was
on TV a bit more.
Yeah, but now
bodybuilding back to a cult type underground sport.
Yeah, bodybuilders have to fight against UFC fighters, other athletes for supplement contracts, and a lot of the supplement, there's that much competition. There's not many.
The way bodybuilders are looking these days, you get these guys in the male physique classes or the male model classes, they're getting better contracts than some of the pro bodybuilders, because the general public looks at the pro bodybuilders today where they're all bloated and fat and they don't want to look like that, so it doesn't really sell. Having a guy with a huge waist and no hair and looking all that like that ain't going to sell a product. If they put on a young guy with nice physique, well-groomed hair, nice looking face, it's going to sell products. So sadly, the way it's going now, it's changed a lot. But would I be a pro bodybuilder again? I'd always train because I love training, but when I got into the car racing, I really loved that and found out that could have been what I was good at, because like I said, I won races and won the championship in drag racing and that. So if I had to do it all over again, I'd still train, but also probably would have gotten into the car racing when I was young, like 13 on, with go-karts and worked my way through. So, I could be could have been a top V8 driver or a Formula One and have a great physique.
But I think, would you say there was more guys making a living out of bodybuilding when you were there? And
probably, because like I said, we had Jay, you had Kevin, you had NASA, Flex, Chris Cormier, Paul Dillette, myself. There's a lot of guys that had big contracts back then compared to now. Phil Heath has one, or Jay's got his own products now. Kai's got his own products now, so he's not really sponsored by someone. But there probably wouldn't be as many that have major contracts. Like I said, a lot of supplement companies now, I think, have more hiring the male model type things rather than have a bodybuilder on the contract. They just hire these guys where, rather than pay them a monthly fee, they can just say, listen, come to the Olympia booth, stand at the booth, we'll pay your airfare, accommodation, excuse me, and you stand on the booth, we'll give you maybe $2,000 or $1,000 for the weekend. So they don't have to pay big fees anymore, like big contract fees of $100,000 a year or $200,000 a year to an athlete. They can just pay them per appearance type thing. So it's changed a lot these days, a real lot.
Yeah, no, I think the other thing that's killed it off is, the magazines aren't as massive. That was your only.
Well, back in the day, you never had the internet, so
yeah.
To see the latest, thing in the contest things, you had to. Well, in Australia, you'd have to wait like a month or two after the Olympia to see the magazine things, or if you knew someone overseas, they would call up someone and say these are the placings. It's the only way you found out, because there's no internet, so you'd have to wait, like I said, a good month to 2 months before you saw the photos. But now the internet, like I said, it can destroy a lot of stuff. It's a good thing and a bad thing. So, like I said, you got to take the internet for what it is.
Yeah. So as a career choice, and also I think too even back then there was guys that were damaging their health. If you weigh up the potential health issues versus the reward.
Well, it's hard to say, because like I said, any bodybuilding, I guess, is an extreme sport. You're putting your body on the line because that's what you do, whether you take the drugs. But like I said, if you're doing your blood work and you're not abusing the drugs and you're doing it safely, what safely, we never know, everyone's going to be different in what their body reacts to. But like myself, if I take the smaller amounts and get my blood work done, okay, you hope you're doing it safely. I don't drink, I don't smoke, all the other stuff. But like I said, any sport, car racing, is going to be deaths in that. Any extreme sport, skydiving, mountain climbing, anything, there's always going to be deaths. It's probably more deaths in other sports than bodybuilding. But so like I said, if it's just something you love and you do and you've got passion for it, do it. But like I said, if you're going to do it, just be, do it smart. Be smart about it. Like I said, even if you're into rock climbing, there's idiots to go rock climbing and just lose that train of thought, and or they just like I said, they're not concentrating and fall off and kill themselves, or if you're going to do it, you've got to be so focused on that type of thing. And like in any sport, downhill skiing, you get the ones that are good at it, you get the ones lose focus for a second and slam into a tree. So water skiing, boat racing on water, they get killed. So any extreme sport, you're going to have deaths and stuff. And like I said, bodybuilding, because it's your body putting it on the line, shit will occasionally happen where things could go wrong. But I think in this sport too, because you don't know your makeup and your genes, some people are just susceptible to kidney disease or liver and that sort of thing. And like I said, if they weren't a bodybuilder, they still probably would get liver disease or thing through drinking or something else just because it's hereditary. And I think, if you're using drugs on top of that, it'll probably speed up the process. So you just got to be smart in what you do.
Yeah, if someone said, "Oh, look, I'm pretty good at golf or I'm pretty good at soccer," have a good hard crack at it, because there's potentially, or tennis, the rewards are potentially good.
Money. Well, you look at Tiger Woods, his first year in golf, he made like 90 million. I think only 10 million was from winnings, the other 70, 80 odd was from endorsements, 30 million from Rolex, another 50 million from American Express. So really, in 1 year he made 90 million. He could have retired after 1 year. He's set for life. So you get to those other sports, you got to train hard if you want to be the best at them. But once you got millions put aside, you can retire quite comfortably.
Or you don't even
do it again.
We don't even have to be in bodybuilding. You have to be the top 5.
We do. Like I said, you take NFL in America, you can sit on the bench and get like 180,000 or more a game just to sit on the bench. That's like winning the Olympia every weekend, sitting on a bench doing nothing. And then they've got top sports doctors and everyone to take care of them and stuff like that. Whereas bodybuilding, like I said, unless you win the Olympia or the Arnold, there's really no money in pro shows. The other pro shows, you might win 10,000, 20,000. The main money will come from appearances or seminars. So you really, for the time and effort you put into bodybuilding, the rewards are not great at all. It's one of those sports you have to love it because you love doing it and love training and competing. Trust me, you don't get into bodybuilding for the money, that's for sure. Because, like I said, I've done okay over the years and that, but like I said, the majority of people, I said there's only a handful of us that could actually make a living from it. All the other guys, like I said, have had to do weird shit, sell drugs, have normal jobs and stuff like that. So, no, trust me, you got to have the passion and love of the sport, because it ain't something you get into for the money. There's hundreds of other sports out there that pay a lot more than bodybuilding does. So even darts, the darts champion is a multi-millionaire. So I'm not putting people off bodybuilding. I just think you just got to have a hard look at it and be a realist with the time and effort you put into it, or your physical health and that sort of thing. You got to weigh the good and the bad. So.
If you really like doing it, do it, compete, but just don't go and pump the drugs into yourself and risk serious health issues if there's no reward. Whereas
not for a plastic trophy, that's for sure.
Like golf and tennis, although I guess tennis players and soccer players, they'd still be hard on their bodies as far as training, but
but still
you're not going to have
I said, you could be like in golf, you could be maybe number 60th in the world and still be making hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's like
same with soccer's. You could be 100,000 in the world, and
like
still
some people get signed to teams and never even go on the field. They just sit there. So, so I said, it's more about the passion and the love you have for it. Then if anything comes from that, that's a bonus.
That's it. Don't think it's going to be a career. And
no, like I said, if it happens, it'll happen. And then if it does happen, well, that's a bonus. You get paid to do something you love doing. Simple as that.